Well, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here. On the show tonight is Linda and Bridgeman. Evening, boys and girls.
Evening, Oxford. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Can I say a huge good evening to the guys on the panel? Massive good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Another box ticked and a great victory.
I didn't think you would make the show tonight, Bridge. I still thought you'd be dancing on the ceiling.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm as flat high as a kite. I'm still as high as a kite. Seriously.
And you might have been caught in a trap, Linda.
Oh, that's a right wee pun there, Ox.
I'm caught in a trap. I can't get out.
Don't be making me sing that later on.
Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. Yeah, I like you, Linda, but it's not you.
I know, that's right. I know. I might need to take up singing, who knows? We'll see.
Bridge you can duet with Bridge. He's always looking for partners.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That could be next Christmas's night out, Bridge. We'll do a duet.
Oh dear. Wow. Oh, come on.
Just let me know where and when so I can miss it.
But I really can't remember where or when.
Right, okay.
Right.
Before we get your opinion on the game last night, Linda, and all things Rangers, I think it's only right we hear the view from the bridge. So get yourself on mute.
View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore.
Oh, good evening and welcome to A View from the Bridge. We're going to talk about last night's game against Hibernian. So a tremendous 1-0 result for the Famous last night against the Hibs at Easter Road. A deserved victory, I'd say. Deserved. A brilliant performance from all the Rangers players. One of the most pleasing results of our season so far. The Easter Road pitch did not look very good at all. The recent bad weather seems to have taken its toll on it. On to the game. The game started quite casually. I thought it wasn't fiery. And I thought, and I've got into 6 minutes, and I thought this is really a tough game. Very few chances, but in a strange way, I found it all exciting and thrilling. On 12 minutes, Kamara breaks away with the ball and heads for their half, but close to the halfway line, he was taken out by Doig. A bad foul, yellow card for the Hibernian defender. Could have been a red, possibly. On 13 minutes, during a midfield battle, the ball breaks to Aribo, who heads straight for the Hibs box and gets a good shot in, which was beaten away by their keeper. Good save, hard lines Aribo. On 15 minutes, Morelos gets the ball on the left and Porteous barges into the ground. Free kick for the Rangers, and the Hibs man kicks the ball at Morelos as he's lying on the ground. Bad news when they do that, bad news. On 17 minutes, Morelos clashes with Porteous on the edge of the box, and the Hibs man goes to ground in front of Alfie, who seems to stamp on the Hibs man on his thigh before falling over him. Free kick to Hibs, no action taken by the referee. I think we're a bit lucky with that one. On 19 minutes, a great pass by Doig into the middle of the Rangers box finds Dodge, who gets a shot in, which was saved and gathered by our keeper. On 29 minutes, a lovely passing move by Hibs down the right finds Cadden, who gets a low cross shot into our near post, which was saved by our keeper, who seemed to spill the ball along the byline, and it was caught on the line when Dodge seemed to catch the keeper's arm and passes the ball to the onrushing Jackson Irvine for a right-footed shot at goal, which goes too high. 35 minutes, tough game with lots of sort of petty free kicks and possession football. On 38 minutes, Ryan Jack threads a through ball to Alfredo Morelos, who is unfortunately caught offside. On 41 minutes, Dodge picks up the ball and has a great right-footed shot from about 35 yards, which our keeper saves quite easily in the centre of the goal. Half-time 0-0. On 51 minutes of brilliant passing into play by Rangers, Davis picks the ball up in his own half and drives upfield and passes to Morelos out on the right. He turns back and feeds Tav, who in turn feeds Jack, and who feeds it forward to Davis, and he flicks a lovely pass to Aribo, and in turn who flicks a beautiful ball into the path of the on-running Morelos. He takes it on, hits a left foot shot into the net, brilliant play, and a goal, 1-0 to the famous. I was so happy, so happy. On 54 minutes, Morelos picks up the ball inside the centre circle and passes out to Kent on the left, who waits for Kamara running past him on the outside and makes a great pass to him. And he puts in a brilliant pass across the 6-yard line where Aribo gets a deft little flick on the ball to Morelos, who is unmarked near the far post, but he puts it wide. Don't know how the ball finished. Maybe the ball bobbled up. Couldn't get that word there. Maybe the ball bobbled up just as he was getting ready to hit it. Hard luck, Alfie. On 61 minutes, a good Hibs corner from the left, and met by Irvin, which just went past the left-hand post. That was close. On 62 minutes, Kamara out on the left wing, inside their half, is barged by Darren McGregor, thrown to the ground and stamped on. Dreadful foul by the Hibs man. Free kick given and a booking for Darren McGregor for the barge. I don't think the referee saw the stamp. A well-deserved yellow card there. Should have been a red for me. Revenge for Porteous, maybe. On 69 minutes, a substitution by Hibs. Martin Boyle replaces Josh Doig. Another substitution of Paul Hanlon replaces Ryan Porteous. On 73 minutes, Rangers Kamar Roof replaces Alfredo Morelos. And Hibernian bring in Kyle McGuinness, who replaces Hallberg. Substitution Rangers Borgane Zunga replaces Ryan Jack. Hibs Scott Allen replaces Alexander Gogic, and Rangers Cedric Itten replaces Aribo on 83 minutes. On 92 minutes, believe it or not, Tav takes a throw into Roof, who returns the ball to Tav, who gets the ball to Davis, and he protects the ball down near the corner flag and out to the wing, taking on Scott Allen. Then he heads for the byline and gets into the box where he plays a beautiful pass to Itten, who takes 2 strides and hammers the ball, and it happens to go into the side netting, but the goalkeeper had it covered anyway. Hard luck there, Cedric. Brilliant play by Davis. That was full time. Score was 0-1, so 1-0 to the famous. This result now puts us 72 points from 26 games played. We have 12 league games left to play. They're 23 points clear at the top of the league, with a goal difference of 59, with 20 clean sheets. That's amazing. Pat on the back for all the Bears for this result. Player by player. McGregor 8, Tavernier 7, Goldson 8, Helander 9, Barisic 8, Aribo 8, Davis 8, Kamara 9, Jack 8, Morelos 8, Kent 8. Helander, for me, man of the match, Helander, closely followed by Kamara. Statistics. Possession 38% Hibernian, 62% Rangers. Shots 8 for Hibs, 11 for Rangers. Shots on target 2 for Hibs, 3 for Rangers. Corners 4 for Hibs, 2 for Rangers. Fouls 14 for Hibs and 8 for Rangers. And that's the end of A View from a Bridge.
Thanks for that, Bridge. Yes, very important. I've just got on the bus last night and brought the points back down that country road back home to Ibrox. 3 points was all it was about. Linda, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought Bridges' summing up there was absolutely great. I don't disagree with anything he says. I think he's covered all the main points. It was a really good performance, thoroughly deserved their win, and we probably could have scored more goals, Ox, and I think it might have made it a wee bit more comfortable for us all towards the end. There's obviously a few talking points in the game, maybe a couple of controversial incidents, but all in all, I thought it was a really good performance, and it's a great 3 points for us.
I thought we played really, really well in the second half, led by Glenn Kamara, supported by Ryan Kent, Stephen Davis and Ryan Jack. Minor parts with Tav Borner and Alfredo and Aribo, but they four for me, particularly Kamara last night on a really difficult surface. I thought the boy just looked a cut above, and you know I'm a big Davis fan, and I thought Davis played well, but I thought Glenn Kamara outshone him last night.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He had an excellent game, didn't he? Brilliant on the ball. He really showed good pace as well, Ox. Wee bursts of pace that we maybe don't, relate to Kamara. He got us up the park. He actually got into the box a few times himself too. He was involved in all the sort of good forward situations. Sometimes I wish he would shoot more, and I'm not don't want to be overcritical there. It's just a personal thing. I think I would quite like all the players to shoot more, particularly the midfielders coming through. But I thought Kamara was terrific, closely followed by Helander.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned him. I thought Helander he was a pick of our back four. I got sent an interesting stat about him the day, Bridge. You listening to this one?
Oh, indeed.
I've not checked it out, but somebody said he's been with the club 594 days and he's never played in a losing team in the league.
That's amazing. That is an amazing stat. In the league. Unbelievable.
And actually, Stato sent another one. Ryan Jack, this season in the league, has not been involved in a game where we've lost a goal.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I tell you what, again, I got to. I think my 1-0 was very good.
Yeah.
Can I just say that you went for Kamara and Helander, and I went the opposite way. I went Helander and Kamara.
Oh, that was
no, you couldn't. You could be in. But I think Helander showed quite a lot of class at times last night, particularly heading the ball. He's good at heading the ball away, and he's good at heading the ball past the goal out of the way, for corners or whatever. But I think, sometimes you couldn't put a cigarette paper through between him, whomever the centre halves are. They normally play well together, and the rock in there is Mr. Goldson. He makes it happen. And I thought everybody played, and even the guys that came on, they had a big, tough game on. And you saw they changed their. If you looked at that team that they played last night, that's not the team they've played for 4 or 5 weeks. Some of these players weren't in it, but all of a sudden these big animals are in now. Incredible.
I thought I'll be honest. Apart for the scoreline in the second half, I thought we gave them a real lesson for about. We had them chasing shadows for about 30 minutes. We should have put the ball in the net more.
I agree with you.
I think the pitch is there, but
I think Morelos missing that one at the far post. The ball, I don't know whether the ball bobbled or not, but it was some beautiful wee touches.
Got a touch off a rebound and also bobbled up, but yeah, I mean it happens. I mean,
of course.
Scored,
I think that was to me. It doesn't really matter who you are. If you're a centre forward at all, you're not going to miss them chances. That's too easy. Not so near him. He's not under any pressure other than his own pressure to put the ball in the net, and somehow or other put it past the goal. So, but other than that, I agree 100% with what you're saying. There were times during that game that we were so far ahead of them. We were a distance ahead of them, in quality and what we were doing. And I'm so happy. It was a wonderful result for our club and for everybody involved with our club. That was brilliant. For me, brilliant. I don't like that team.
I wonder. It's a big. This is a double tick in the box, huh?
Yeah, because obviously we've struggled at Easter Road at times, haven't we? And we've not always got the result that we deserved there, Ox. I think, we've conceded poor goals and kind of individual errors have maybe cost us. And we've not taken our chances. And whilst we probably should have scored more goals last night, we were very comfortable, I thought, apart from a couple of wee moments, maybe cross balls. But I think we managed the game very well, as you say. We gave them a bit of a lesson in how to play football, how to retain the ball. And I actually thought the subs were terrific when they came on. they held the ball up well, they won fouls, they were just so good in possession. I thought I thought Zungu, Itten and Roof did brilliant when they came on.
Yeah, I'm glad.
He's right, absolutely.
I'm glad you mentioned the three subs. I did. I thought Zunya looked as if men at home. Obviously, it's only cameos and you can't judge. But the boy Itten put a shift in and showed desire. And Ruth worked hard and took the ball and he got a couple of free kicks, moved us up the park and took pressure off the side. But listen, on that pitch. In modern football, because of what they play on, I would say that the football we played in the second half was excellent for considering the conditions underfoot, because you could see both teams sliding at times.
Yeah.
The
goal itself was terrific, Bridge, wasn't it?
Oh, just the way we're playing, the amount of passes we're stringing together, the technical part of our games, our players' games, should I say. It's just wonderful to watch and behold. Seriously. I mean, they're just great. I mean, that must have been another 6 or 7 passes and we're away. And that those two flicks from Davis onto Aribo into Morelos, they don't come out. Nobody's got all this. Yeah, that's worked on in the pitch. Loads of people with plenty of skills, but to watch it, the way that move built up, Davis started it and Davis ends up being the man in control of it all. Oh, it's just fabulous. And Morelos, oh my God, that was a wonderful goal. Wonderful goal.
Yeah, Stephen Davis, every time he passes the ball that often, it reminds me of Foxhole Mastermind. All right, I suppose we better get the lines on and get the people in. What's the number, Linda?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Bridge?
You can join us on Skype at RangersRadio.online, and Old School Blue and Foxtel bring you in and make sure you're happy.
If you phone in, hang up and we will phone you back. Just to say, last night of the show, the callers were superb, different callers, different opinions. At times, people getting excited, emotional, all what Rangers Radio's about. But we couldn't take all the callers with that many people calling in the last 15 minutes of the show. We just couldn't handle it.
Wow.
I tried to go into Midnight Bridge, but he wouldn't pay the money. You know what he's like.
That's his downfall. That's his downfall. Now, can I just say, it's just marvellous to hear the amount of callers that are calling in. It just shows you the popularity of the Rangers Radio and the people in it. Particularly yourself, of course. Oxford, you're the front man. You're the front man.
I'm the ringmaster.
The ringmaster. I love it.
I told you. Me, the fan mail used to. You've got the big one, then there's Linda, and me and GFK. We share an envelope. Yeah.
I think that some of the things that are happening on the show, people who appreciate what you say and how you say it, and that's the old trade union delegate in you coming out. That's what I had.
Look, this is a hobby we do, Linda. It's great fun. It's a passion. The Rangers, I think, for everyone that's involved in the show, for Old School Blue, the Old Fox, Bridgeman, all the boys that come on as panellists, tremendous bunch of people, and it's a hobby we do. It's been particularly rewarding during this lockdown period when we've been climbing in the walls.
Yeah. Absolutely, Ox. Everybody looks forward to it. All the social media feeds, everybody puts their comments on. There's lots of different opinions in there too. And I think I heard you guys say last week, it's just like sitting round, having a chat with your mates about your favourite football team. And we're all very passionate about the club, and we do have different opinions sometimes, but we're all part of the one big family, I think, and we just want Rangers to do well, don't we?
Oh, you're right, but it's like sitting around your mates. But what gets me, I'm not the one that buys around. I'm an apple. I don't mind that. And then you go on the bus and the two of them get this free ticket. When I get to Power, that's the first thing I'm stoked.
No.
Did you see the controversy that train spotting author got involved with
Oh,
on
yeah.
a show on the Hibs TV or
What a
something?
classless individual, you know.
Oh, that's shocking, isn't it?
You know, we're live on here, mate, and we're very respectful.
Aye.
You know, and
Yeah.
we try, but we're live. It wouldn't be the first time that we've let out the odd expletive and passions run high, particularly after games. But when you're in a professional capacity, shocking performance. Anyway,
Yeah.
enough about them.
No, I just thought I'd say, you know.
A great 3 points, and we'll take it from there.
Can I just say,
yes?
I was going to say, one of our old adversaries, Scott Allen, he came on last night, and at the end of it, just in the dying embers of the game, when Davis was running past him along the line, and he couldn't keep up with Stephen Davis. I had to laugh.
That was brilliant.
Made my night, seriously.
Yeah, I
Imagine if
don't
we'd
know
bought
advise
that,
that boy. I don't know advise that boy, but they got it so wrong. We've been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Bridge. Evening, Linda. We're actually
Hi,
been
Blue.
Linda first, innit?
Yeah.
Right. Evening, Blue Star.
Listen,
Evening,
Blue Star.
Linda.
We're all for equality on here. Rangers for everyone and anyone.
Well, it wasn't until you said you were the only one that bought a round of drinks.
That's true.
Aye, so it is. That was Champions Elect for me, Ox. I said it all week before the game. That was a biggie for me, and for me, I've been celebrating all day. That's 55 in the bag for me.
Listen, I'm no one. I think if you watch the Rangers newsfeed tomorrow, I think we're going to get a new sponsor tomorrow. Somebody else is coming in. That DFS are coming in because we've been behind that many sofas. The Rangers fans have been buying new ones all day, you know. So that's us. We can move it. We can move it. We can sit and relax, and we need to go and win the games, but it's in our hands. Big style now. Big style, mate.
No, not two ways about it. Who impressed you last night? Certainly Davis. I thought Morella's done all right. Apart from, I mean, we can't hide for the fact he's definitely he's a nutcase. The wee guy's a cracking player, but you just don't know when he's going to snap. And I mean, there was no need for that. And everybody knows what Porteous can be like. But he's a young boy, and I'm afraid Alfredo took the gloss off it because, as usual, the Scottish press, they don't tell you about the win. They just talk about Alfredo being get under the respect.
I said last night, and I don't want this show in particular to crucify one of our own, right? Or careful. What I will say, and I'll ask Bridge and Linda for their points. There's no way that I'm going to deny that Alfredo Morella stood on his leg. Yeah, you can see it's as plain as day. What force is in that? Was it a stamp? That's up to people's interpretation. The referee, who was what, 4 yards away?
Aye, wasn't far from that.
Seemed it to be a coming together. The reaction of the Hibs players wasn't too OTT. I believe that Porteous, no, I've not seen this, I was sent it last night in a message. I believe that Porteous came out last night and said there was nothing in it. So, So, did he stand on his leg? Yes. Did he mean to
What's the fact, Box? As we all know, Clancy usually gives us nothing. The very fact he never done anything about it. Know what I mean?
Did he stand on his leg? Yes. Did they mean it? Did he try and hurt them? There's only one person who knows that, and we don't know that. Yeah.
But no, the way we started last night impressed me immensely. We went at them straight for the first whistle. The only wee downside to that was for the first 20 minutes we totally riddled them, but we never had a shot at goal.
No, we had them chasing.
We were getting to Aye, absolutely. We got to that 18-yard line, and then we seemed to either lose the ball or it was a bad pass or whatever. But they didn't. They never get near us in that first 20 odd minutes.
Can I just say something, Knox, here?
Yes.
Last night I watched the Late Show on the sports scene about the highlights of the game. And at the end of the game, they talked to the pundits. And I tell you what, it was just scandalous. There's not one of them said it wasn't it. Every one of them said it wasn't. There should have been a red card. Blah 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 blah. And so will go. I'm just saying that's the situation.
What I'm saying, Bridget, is what I'm saying is it was he stood in his leg. We're not denying that. Anyway, we've been joined by a caller. Caller, I think you've either got the show or the telly on in the background. Can you turn it off, please?
You
need to turn it off. How we doing, mate? All right? What's your name?
Right, mate, can you hear us, aye?
Aye, we can hear you all right. It's just that I don't want to hear your telly on the show.
Sorry, mate, it's a wee man, mate. You know I love him, mate. Come on in, George, son.
Come on in, George.
Son,
you come in, George.
You can't believe it. He's got Rangers up on his phone, you phone him back. 55 coming home, me man, innit?
Come on, George. Tell us who's going to win the league, George.
Tell the guy.
55 coming home.
Aye, great team.
Go on yourself, wee man.
Well knitted together. Well knitted
Go on
together.
yourself.
We Ryan Jack back in the team.
What's your name, mate? What's your name? I never caught your name.
I'm George and all, mate.
All right. Oh, Big George and Little George.
I'm his dad.
Name on here.
I'm his dad, mate. He was in the room. And he phoned me down his lap. Rangers was at Rangers. He's downloaded it on his phone. And then he phoned back. He couldn't believe it. George,
all right, so he's contacted
us.
Your
big size Rangers pictures and all that. So I said to the guy, Small.
Listen, I hope he's not doing that with some of the other channels. You might get a bill.
No, go and say to the guy, hurry up, fucking shine. You know what it's saying. Tell him we're parking a couple of weeks. That's what we do. Are
you kidding on your shine, George?
Go and say to the guy.
1 second.
He's running away, don't we?
Right, George. Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for the call. Brilliant.
Good, mate. Cheers for phoning back, mate, right?
Yeah, good night, mate. We are the people.
All good, mate. And you, mate. Cheers.
He can be everywhere at expenses, timer, betting sites, different sites.
Know what I have been enjoying, and when it's been in Sky, see Chris Boyd, absolute class, the guy. See, every time that woman would go to him and say, well, what did you think? He just kept with a big cheesy grin, and he kept saying, do you honestly think he meant it? He says, I don't know, you don't know. He says, nobody knows. As if they say, no, nothing should happen to him. But Boyd's been slagging Big Sutton, and as you know, all season. I think the guy's been brilliant on there. But getting back to the team, the way we played football at times, they really were. They were standing back admiring us half the time. That first 20-odd minutes for me, I couldn't believe it. We came out like a house on fire. We were all over them. As I say, how we never go into 1 or 2 goals up right at the beginning was mystifying. Because they really were chasing shadows.
They came into a wee bit, Linda, midway through the first half, and obviously a couple of cross balls. The one that the boy nicked to Alan McGregor's hands. By the way, you learn something new every day. I thought you had the 2 hands on the ball, but it was only time. I think it was only time in the whole show they didn't mention the Alfredo Morelos incident. The boss stole off him.
Absolutely. I think Andy Walker even got that part right. He said that as long as you've even just got a finger on the ball. I didn't realise that either. But I'd agree with Blue Star about how we started. I thought we started quite well, quite a high tempo. I think the only chance I can remember is the one that Aribo kind of got through. It was a loose ball and he ran in and he shot right at the goalkeeper. But other than that, I don't think we created that many clear-cut chances in the first half.
No, we didn't. Anyway, we've been joined by Bob Gia. Evening, Bob Gia.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Linda. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, Blue Star. You're doing all right? Well, I'm unhappy and happy at the same time.
What are you unhappy about?
Well, I'm going to tell you the new, Bridgeman. David has been more critical of Alfredo Morelos' conduct than me. I mean, he's cost us a lot in big games recently, over the last couple of seasons. And he was up to his tricks last night again. But, let me stop there and say to you, I thought it was a yellow name here. If he'd have wanted to hurt Ryan Porteous last night, he could have really have done it. And he didn't. Did any of the Hibs medical staff go in the park and treat him? No. He rolled about a wee bit, then he got up and started remonstrating. So he wasn't hurt at all. He shouldn't have did what he did. But to me, a yellow, maybe. And I'm really surprised that Clancy never pulled a card on him. But he ran the gauntlet again, the laddie. So we'll have to see what happens with the compliance. But all day long, I mean, I've been watching reruns of the game, and never once has McGregor's tackle on Kamara been seen. Been mentioned. I don't know if any of you have seen it again, but I've certainly
I've seen it, Bob. I think we've got to watch it, and people can come on here and they can give their opinions on Alfredo.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we've got to watch is we don't like them drive a narrative. Yeah, he stood in his leg. You maybe think it was a yellow. Bridge might think it's a red, and that people are entitled to that opinion. But the boy hasn't the abuse he's getting and the scrutiny he's under for anything he does is unlike any other player in Scotland.
I love him. It's the most unpop.
It's bordering on racism, the way that somebody commentators are treating that boy.
Yeah.
That's right. And you'll notice that the Ross County player got off with it for the SFA, and it didn't leave much to the imagination what he said to Alfredo Morelos that day up at Dingwall. But that's passing done with.
My information is that Rangers said there was no charge also there. Yeah.
Well, that's fine then. That's okay. We just go on with it as usual. But apart from that, that's subject closed. But apart from that, I thought Rangers were fantastic last night. I thought some of their one-touch play was wonderful. It was absolutely brilliant. I thought the goal was out of this world. I thought it was great. That's a good side here. That's a happy side here. I thought Rangers were excellent. Everybody, to a man, was brilliant. Well, Big Highlander, man of the match, definitely. But I thought Rangers were excellent. Who
did you say there? Who did you say, Bob, Jim?
What? Man of the match? Highlander.
Highlander, cool. That's cool.
I thought he was a great give a big play.
Linda, we've not had your view. You've talked about other stuff, but we've not had your view in the big incident.
Well, I think you're right about what you say about Alfie. You know, he gave the referee a decision to make, and only he'll know, the amount of force that he's applied there. But what I will say is I agree about the coverage with him, Walks. The coverage by the Sky commentary team, and it's just my opinion, was absolutely disgraceful, the way that they went on about it. They continued to mention it all through the rest of the half. They were still talking about it when the second half commenced, and I thought that was an absolute disgrace. There were other tackles and other challenges in that game that weren't even spoken about, and for me that's the problem I've got with it. We're not saying that he's not to be scrutinised, but it's the level of scrutiny that's my issue, and he's the one that gets it in the whole of Scottish football. There's nobody else treated like Alfie, and I'm not saying it wasn't a red box. I'm just saying it's the treatment he gets, and that's just my opinion on it.
Okay. I'm going to bring in Fox to get his. He's a wise man, the Mr. Fox. He wasn't planning to be on the night, but because of that, I would like to hear his opinion. Fox, evening, brother.
Good evening.
Yeah, just I'll let you get back to. I think what you crocheting the night or.
A few wee shandies.
All right, mate.
My idea on the incident, yes, Alfie stepped on him, but the narrative that's been put out is stamped. And my idea of stamping is somebody when they go down full force with their foot onto any object. For me, he laid his boot down on his leg, but didn't he stamp on him? And I think it's been a witch hunt for day one since Alfie came into Scotland. And I agree with a lot of people that say it's bordering on racism. The boys are a great talking point for all of them, and they go over the top time and time again. All these incidents that he's involved in happen every day in every game in Scotland, but he's the only one highlighted, and it's a shame.
Well said, mate. Well said, mate. That's fine. Always happy to hear Fox's views. Bridgeman?
Well, I have to say, I can't disagree with a word that Foxy says there. Apart from the word stamp, we'll agree to differ on that. There's no problem, nothing in it. But seriously, what they're saying about someone going to go and chased out of Scotland, and that's what's going to happen. Eventually, the boy will get too much, and maybe even Rangers will advise him at some point, because there's nothing Rangers can do. Absolutely nothing Rangers can do, because they can go to the SFA and they'll get fined. They'll get fined. That's what will happen. They'll parade the club and fine.
I think you'll find that Rangers are fighting a lot of battles just now, mate. I mean, there's been apologies to Tav and the gaffer in the last couple of days, printed in paper.
Yeah, I saw that. So and I mean also that apology from Hibs to Rangers regarding that nutcase that is for Hibs TV. So all that's happening, but I just mean in general, there's the thing that you're speaking about, potential racism. It's endemic all through football. As far as Rangers are concerned, it's endemic. So whenever they're playing Rangers are a big hate figure. It doesn't matter what happens to them. They don't care. That's my feeling. That's my feelings on it.
Like our club, we just want Alfredo Morelos to be treated like any other player. Anyway, we enjoyed another wise man. I think we were doing the nativity play here. Alec Wisher's joined us.
Good evening, Oaks here. Bridgeman, Linda, Bob J.
Hi, Alec.
Hi, Alec.
Blue Star, everybody else that's in the panel. How we doing, lads? All right? And girls?
Hi,
Hi, Alex.
all right, Alex.
I just here to congratulate Rangers on the victory last night. Most important thing was the 3 points. And we finally got there. So I was well pleased. We played some good football and on to the bargain. You see the state of the park. So, positive night.
It was all about 3 points for us, Alec. Just made sure we didn't fall into the trap of any more pressures or leaving doors open. So we've looked at the fixtures. That's traditionally a reasonably hard game for us, even though they've no beaten the league there in the top flight since about 2005 or something ridiculous. But 2006, something like that. But I think Sebo scored for us that day.
So you got a good memory of
that would have been like when? So that would have been 2007. So they've not beat us in the top flight in the league there for about 14 years. Yeah, so we go there thinking, well, it's a hard game. And it is a hard game because there's a lot of draws in there. But the second half, I thought some of the football was excellent, mate.
You're right, Ox. Potentially it's a hard fixture. Hibs are always up for it, especially Easter Road. But there you go. We've played some great football. They were chasing shadows for a while. They just couldn't keep up with us in that. Just a bit unfortunate it was only 1-0 because we could have scored another couple of goals. But I was really delighted with it. And that's another, you've ticked the box again. That's another less game now going back down. You played there, what was it, 13 points out of possible 15 in January. That's championship for them.
Especially
for the team.
Pictures, mate. We went to Motherwell. We went to Aberdeen. We went to Easter Road. Yeah, and we've played the team it's closest to is Livingston. Nobody. No, all right. We'll play that one. Yeah.
Well, hard fixtures might come out there. They can call it flying colours.
Yeah.
The team that's closest to is Livingston. Wonderful, pal.
Oh, right.
Just brilliant.
He's doing a good job, that guy.
Aye.
Aye.
I heard tonight that he started his managerial career. He's on a par with O'Neill, Bill Struth, and somebody, was it Shaw at Aberdeen in the 60s? Would that have been their manager? Somebody Shaw?
Way back. That's before our time. That's generations before me.
Is
that what he's up to, Bill Struth?
That guy.
There you go, then.
The start of his career, he's on a par with the guys, The guy.
Good on him.
Yeah.
He got a wee break. There again. He deserved it. So good luck to him. He's teaming that bit. Yeah. More about the Rangers, man. I thought they were outstanding. as I say, we've maybe scored another couple of goals, but I'd take a Bridgeman there all the time, 1-0. So that's it again. Get ready now for St Johnstone next Wednesday. Fantastic.
I was jumping up and down mentally because a Bridgeman score came through last night. I should have put a bet on it.
I must say the substitutions were excellent. Brought them on at the right time.
Yes. Yeah.
Every one of them, by the way. Big Int was good. He could run the ball and take the pressure off him. Roof's just one of these intelligent players who knows where to go to. Zumba done what he today. You could see him getting instructions before he came out. But I must say one thing. How good is that Kamara? He's unbelievable when you see.
Wonderful.
Unbelievable, man. What a wonderful footballer we've got there.
Do you know,
blossoming into a really high quality player. Really.
See the way he plays and he turns, he's got that pace, he's got that grace, and he's got that poise. Sometimes when I'm watching him, I just think it's the mirror I'm looking at.
Aye, with the Kelly on in the background.
Brilliant, by the way, brilliant.
sorry for laughing so hard, Doc.
Oh, it's really cool. That. Really
I tell you
cool,
what, you're that cruel to me, you've hurt my feelings now.
Brilliant.
Thank you, the mirror.
I thought it was the ball, it kept broken it, then I discovered it wasn't the ball. Blue Shadow. Blue Star. Anyway, we'll be joined by Amanda. How are we doing, Amanda? Evening.
Good evening, all. How are we?
How are you?
Hi, Amanda.
Oh, great. After last night's
Evening,
smashing.
Amanda.
What a result. What a result last night. Fantastic.
Well said,
Absolutely. Good evening, Linda. How are you?
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Aye, all right. Fed up waiting in this operation, but other than that, I'm fine. I couldn't even do a dance last night when we scored that goal. If I did, I fell out of the dog and broke the other leg. So are we all right then? It was a great. The only thing I'll say about last night is Sky Sports were a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. They must have went on about the Morelos incident about 70 odd times. All the way during the half-time interval, it was Morelos. Not one mention of the way Rangers were playing, how they started to play well at the end of the first half. It was all about that specific thing. But I've never liked Andy Walker anyway, so there's no any difference there, is there really? But, but I just thought we had a great second half.
That's something you've got in common with Neil Lennon then.
He never liked Andy Walker either. Well, we'll not go into that one, will we? But no, I thought we played the second half. We played some outstanding football. We really did. We upped our game 100% in the second half. We really did. We really upped our game last night, and I thought we had a great second half. Every single player to a man was on the mark. You know what I mean? There wasn't one player that came on last night that didn't play well.
Well said, Amanda. Well said. I'll tell you what, Blue Star, you take that, mate.
Absolutely. Every single player, there wasn't even one you'd say would just get pass marks. They were all in their game. As I say, Kamara was just like him, Davis, the whole lot of them. Even Ruth when he came on, and as I say, big Itan, he's got some turn of pace. Every one of them, to a man, were excellent. Absolutely excellent.
I thought the whole team, every one of them, a man played well. Every single one. There wasn't even one you could say had a wee bit of a dodgy. Okay, Morelos was a wee bit short in some of his balls, right? And some of the passes. But then that was probably a lot to do with the parking lot. The state of that park last night, you know what I mean? It was a disgrace.
Yeah. I think what he's done is, Alex, what Amanda's saying, we're turning into a good side, Alex.
Yeah,
we're a team.
Definitely. Sorry?
We're a team.
Oh, we're a team. At the beginning, we did say we get a potential, a special team here. Every obstacle that's coming in front of us, by the way. Every obstacle in front of us, we're just going over it. No problem.
Well, I mean, even all the crap we've put up with the last couple of seasons with the SFA, SPA, SPFA and all that, the SFA and all that, that's all by the by now. We're turning into a team that are capable of dealing with what they throw at us. As Bill says, we fear no foe. We'll fear no foe.
Even when Big Callanda was getting interviewed, did you notice how he wouldn't take any personal accolades? All he kept talking about was the team. We're the team. We play as a team and we think as a team. That was brilliant.
That's right. Even the manager, when he gets interviewed now, he doesn't take any personal credit for it. He gives it to the team. He says it's the players on the park that are doing it, not me. Do you know what I mean? He's that kind of... He's very tactical, but he's very diplomatic about it, if you know what I mean.
I think the manager's just shy like you, Amanda.
Shy. I'm just quiet, believe it or not. I started going to Rangers games, and then it brought me out myself. I used to be shy. I mean, I used to sit in the Sunday school and not say a word. Can you believe it?
No.
No, I'm a worship leader now, right enough, but there you go. But that's a different story. But anyway, I'll let you go and get more callers in. Have a good night, and I'll speak to you soon and bring on 55. Okay, okay.
Cheers, Amanda. Night.
Well done, Amanda.
Bye, Amanda.
Bye. Bye.
Well said, Amanda.
Bye.
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 Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. Anyway, we've been joined by my mate Kilmarnock. And how we doing, Kilmarnock?
Good evening, lads. And Linda.
You're sorted.
Evening.
Did a bit of books
Evening,
last night,
Kilmarnock.
didn't you?
No, I'm still trying to mess about with this new phone. I think I need to get back to my
Okay.
old phone so I can get my earphones in.
Right, okay. I think you could hear us, but we couldn't hear you. Was that right last night?
Aye.
Yeah. Strange. Anyway, mate, the floor's yours.
Great 3 points last night. Hard fought 3 points and well deserved. Don't really like to talk about Morelos, you know what I mean? Good and the bad, but it's all part of the game, isn't it? We got a dig here and there, that's what we need.
It happens, mate. It happens. You know, it's a game of football. People get involved with each other. No, every incident in football, people try to kill each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, it gets slowed down, doesn't it? And it makes it look a lot worse than it actually does when you see it in real time. Or you're actually watching it right in front of your eyes rather on a TV camera. But they're pushing the narrative, aren't they? Sky were just pushing it all the way through it. They just couldn't stop talking about it. But there we go. It's nothing new, is it? We know what they're doing.
No. I don't think any of us are surprised. But
no.
they're going to have to come into our narrative, mate, because we're going to have red, white, blue ribbons on that trophy in a few weeks' time, mate. Ibrox, we're going to have to buy some of no bought for a while. That's Duragla.
I don't even know what that is.
Behave yourself. It's for shining things.
It's Brasso.
It's Brasso, mate.
Oh, Brasso, right? I know what that is.
Better quality than Brasso.
I suppose Lamb Hill, the brass wouldn't have lasted long up there, you know what I mean?
No. I had to sell all my medals as well, you know what I mean, for food, so that's why
Was that the First or the Second World War?
You're getting some stick tonight, boy.
I know, I don't come on.
Who's shone for you last night, Kilmarnock? Who's shone for you?
Kamara was superb, wasn't he?
The balance he showed last night. There was one incident, I think it was the one that Morelos actually missed, but when he didn't have a lot of space. He shimmied past him, showed a turn of pace, nice control, 1-2. I think we can got the ball back across the goal. Great play.
Yeah.
Great play.
He's a star, isn't he? He was getting kicked out of the park as well. Every other player was taking a boot at him. He was just getting back up. He'll be so the day, won't he? He'll definitely be so the day.
Aye. I actually thought Kamara has been quiet the last couple of games, and that's the thing about our midfield. Davis does what Davis does, and then the others come in and play around about him. And obviously, if he's steady, it lets the other ones. But last night, I just thought he was excellent. I thought Hollander had a great game as well. But
that he did it done, didn't he? He did it right at the bar. I don't know if that was right near the end. It was a cracking clearance in the box as they were pushing for an equaliser.
What did you make of that stat? He's been with us 594 games. Haaland, and he's not played in a losing league side.
That's amazing, isn't it? It really is. Long may it continue. Another 8 games, hopefully. 8 in a row. Here we go.
We're getting close, mate. We're getting close.
Well, aye, champagne's on ice, but it's no popped yet, is it?
No.
Paint is on ice, and that's for sure. That's for sure, boy.
Bob J, this team, they've found a way to win. It's a rope-a-dope sometimes. I don't know what you thought. I thought with 15 minutes to go, Hibs looked dead on their feet.
Oh, absolutely. Like I told you the previous night, with our back four. To me, all through the game, you're taught, I'm not going to hack back to the Alfie incident. There's enough of that, but there's been spoken about enough. But all McGregor and Porteous did all night was spoiled. Because Rangers were like one of the worst from them.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for...
Sure is.
Carry on.
I thought that Rangers were like one of the worst from them. I thought Rangers outclassed them from start to finish. I thought Rangers were on a 2 or 3 nothing last night. They weren't, but they just took our chances. That's how far in front of them we were. Like you said, they tried their big tough guy McGregor, and it never worked. Didn't work. You notice they dropped their captain Hanlon. And I mentioned him the previous night, and it just didn't happen. Rangers were miles away. Rangers are miles away, but everybody, folks. Everybody. So, what I'm going to do, Hawks, I'm going to sign you and let you get some more callers, pal. We're getting ever popular.
All right, Bob, yeah. All right. See you soon, yeah.
Always a pleasure, and you will speak to me soon. And everybody have a good night. We'll catch you later on RangersRadio. Thank you.
Cheers, Bob, yeah.
Cheers, Bob, yeah.
Night, Bob.
It's like the Waltons on here. Come on up. You right, Jim Bob?
Jim Bob. Jim Bob. That's brilliant.
I think he's mentioned it last night as well. The 3 subs were superb. Every single one of them came on and just done what was required, if no more. And just we ran the clock down, and it was just the 3 of them, superb.
I think what I would say to Zunga when he come on, people would say, "Oh, why are you taking Jack off?" Because Jack was doing what Jack does. But Zunga come on and we never noticed the fact that Jack wasn't in the pitch, and that's the biggest compliment I can pay him on last night's performance, man. Okay.
Aye, the thing is, Jack's just back. You know what I mean? So the manager's maybe seen, right, I'm giving him 80 minutes, no matter what's happening here, and just for his own fitness and his own recovery. That was probably the best I've seen Zungu. I've not been impressed with him, to tell you the truth, but last night he came on and I think his first touch of the ball, he done something crazy. I think after that he was just accomplished. It was brilliant. Know what I mean?
Alex, it's always hard to judge in a few minutes, isn't it? You've got to be fair on the lad as well, isn't it?
Because it's basically cameo roles he's coming on, and he's not really the full game, but he got the instructions there for Stevie Gerrard, and he just came on there. He just say, fill in for Ryan Jack. And the team are just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. The substitutes as well, just keep fluent football. I was really impressed with them, and that's one of the harder games. Let's not mess about it. Again, a week Easter Road's one of the harder games, so it looks very happy days now for us. I don't want to say too much on that because we've still got a wee bit of football today, but we're definitely in a good position in it.
I have to agree with you as far as Zunga's concerned. I thought Zunga had been, I even said it a couple of times over a few weeks, he hasn't been match fit, shall we say, 100% match fit.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service.
And he's getting there now.
078.
He's getting there now. No, he's just getting there. You can see the way he's moving with the ball now, and you can see his head's up, and he's looking for things. And he, as you said, he came on, took over from Jack, and it's as if Jack was still there. Maybe even thinking the two of them are there, if you follow what I mean. It was just brilliant. Just a brilliant show by a lot of players.
You're right, Bridgman. I think he's just getting used to the pace of the game in that in Scotland as well. he's came over here. It's took a bit of time with the fella, but if you're not getting a lot of minutes, it's kind of hard to come on. He's fortunate he's coming into a Rangers team that's playing well now. And it's just like a wee jigsaw, one in, one out.
We all know as Rangers fans that the pressure, anybody coming into the Rangers team, and the pressure surrounding Rangers, and not just that, but in this particular season, is even more pressure. So these guys have come up to, some of these guys have come up to Ibrox. It's going to take them 3 months just to get their foot on the pitch and feel that what's happening. Fortunately for these guys, there isn't any fans, or unfortunately, depends how they respond. But there's no the great pressure when you're playing the game, other than your managers telling you. But seriously, see, these guys are brilliant players. That Zungu he looked absolutely superb last night. Absolutely superb. I was very pleased.
I think that was his 11th appearance, wasn't it? I'm sure that's what they said, 10th or 11th appearance, but probably obviously for the subs bench. But it does take you time to get used to the players pressing you quicker. You know what I mean? You're not getting much time on the ball as you're doing in England and probably abroad. Up here, they're just shutting you down, aren't they, right away? And you need to think faster. Get caught out.
And obviously, I don't know. I think it was Angers he was playing with, but I don't know what the climate's like there. I don't doubt he maybe played on many parts like that one last night. You know what I mean?
Well said, there.
Well, seriously.
Other than our pitch is terrible as well, but that was.
I don't know if it's the under soil heating that causes it. I mean, God, Scotland, we shouldn't have a problem with growing grass. You know what I mean?
I was in Germany last year, and we walked across the hotel because I can hear football getting played, and it must have been immigrants because we're all darker skinned fellows, know what I mean, or playing, and it was all red ash, and there was clouds of dust and everything everywhere, know what I mean. I think to myself, I remember that years ago, know what I mean, and these guys are playing in it, know what I mean. I don't know. I just think about Anglos there when you said that. You know what I mean?
The pitches. I mean, the red ash helps you with your touch because it pushed the ball in there. But then when it got really wet, you could hardly run in it. It was like a ball, wasn't it?
Aye. Yeah. And then you get put up in the air and you slid along it, then that was it for a few days.
The red ash rash.
Wire brushing.
Then you get the wee bits of dirt in the cuts in that. You touch it, you put the Dettol on, you jump through the roof.
Oh no!
The black ash was. I have to admit, the black ash was worse. Oh my god! And that was the wee black clinkers. Gee wings. I'm telling you.
Wire brushing Dettol,
Wire brush. My mother just threw it on. Here, put your knee or whatever. Get it in there. Shut up.
Stop your grief.
Let me hurt you.
I mean, you were 40 at the time.
Was that?
You were 40 at the time.
40, aye.
Anyway, get yourself on mute. We're going to have a tune.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. Sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way, as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight with my father and son, and it's sure safe to say at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road west. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. From that day, I'd be Rangers for life. From that day, I'll be Rangers for life. From that day, I'll be Rangers for life.
You're back, Bridgman?
Oh, yes, we are, pal. Yes, I'm just sitting down after singing that song.
Yeah, that's another one. It'll be on Linda's album.
Oh, I'm telling you. Such a wonderful song. Wonderful song. Hey, up at Paisley Road West. Ow, wow, wow, wow.
You back with us, Domano?
I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can.
We can hear you loud and clear, mate.
Good. I thought you were at it last night.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. No, we tried that one night with Bridge, but he never fell for it.
Too thick.
Right, okay. Bridgeman, if people want to join us, give us their thoughts. Anything Rangers, I'll get to the news coming out of the club today. What's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online, where you brought out the call with Fox and Old School Blue. If you phone in, hang up and we will phone you back. Simple as that, Alec, yeah?
Simple as that. Great show. It was a great show last night as well, Locks. I listened. It was a good wee debate in that.
Aye.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Passions run high. Support, yeah.
I respect everybody's opinion in that. As you say, everybody's got their own. We've all got one goal, Rangers Football Club. We all see it different ways in that. But in general, that's what we want to see. Rangers winning the league. That's basically, but it's all it.
It's amazing that people watching the same thing can see things so differently, isn't it?
Well, I learned something new. I know last night with Alan McGregor with the ball. You know, we went down there and they kicked the ball. I never knew you just had to put one finger on it, so there you go.
No, I thought you had to have it in two hands before it was deemed to be under control.
2 hands, aye.
Yes,
well, we're involved with the football too. We've got a team here, and I never knew the role. We started an amateur team there at the beginning of the season because of the pandemic and that. You know, we played about 6 friendlies. We're ready to get into the Strathclyde region. We call ourselves Wishaw Rangers. That's what we're called. Right? And we did it. Wishaw Rangers, aye. A great bunch of boys. Like a lot of them are. They've all played pro youth and all that. My boy plays in that. We're all involved. It was just to get the guys out to the supporters club. Then other guys came from far afield. We end up getting quite a good team here. We're well sponsored. But unfortunately, we've not played any games in that with the pandemic.
Oh, no, you're so
but the loss of the game.
You're undefeated, Alex. That's what you say.
There you go. We're undefeated. It was a great crowd of boys. It was all the boys at the supporters club and they came back from Portugal and that. They decided we'll start the team. And we played. And unfortunately with the pandemic. But the rules of the game, you know, I'm a way back like yous. I'm the old timer and that played the game. But that one with McGregor the other night there, it took me. I thought you'd have 2 hands in the ball. There you go. So you're learning something new every day.
Yeah. He was raging as well, wasn't he? He was raging. It could have been a goal.
Oh, he was raging.
And they'd have got the goal because he never he made a mistake, didn't he?
Oh, you're right. You're right, though, man. You're right because you're on it. When you see it, the ball could easily score. That'd been it.
Yeah.
It was a real good chance for them.
He knew the rule, McGregor, didn't he?
Aye.
Yeah.
Even if he did, he's on it, he'd have probably been shouting about it anyway.
That was what I had today, really, in the course of the game. When you think back.
Doesn't feel like that, but doesn't it?
No, I know when you're watching it, mate, but when you think back now, when it went 82 minutes, the man, all of a sudden, I went for somebody sitting calm. I ended up at bridge. I was pacing up and down like expecting to play there.
I just had visions of the cup final, sitting watching that at Hampden, know what I mean, and going...
Aye, I know what you mean. Aye, but then the game just petered out, and we 3 minutes added time, and we seen it out, and you go, that's it, number 26, well, 23 points clear, you know.
We're good at that at the end, aren't we? And that wee run with Davis right at the end as well, that was superb, wasn't it? Right along that, right down the line, and right along the byline, and we nearly got a goal at it.
Aye.
And the age of him, and he's still doing that right on injury time. Amazing fitness.
See if you watch that again, man up. See when he goes along the byline, he cuts it back right and he gets out the bar. Watch Davis sprint back into position.
Aye, runs back, that's right.
Aye.
Run right back into centre midfield. Fantastic.
The last time I seen somebody move that fast when I was told Bridge there was free pies in the pub. You know what I mean? But Davis, I've got a lot of time for him. I've got a lot of time with the way he plays the game. But if it's a bad game, I like to think I'll say it. But I actually thought he was outshone last night by the skills of Glenn Kamara. I've got to say that. You know?
We're really building a quality midfield by the way we play our football for 4-3-3. And outstanding. And yes, surely Kamara was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
As much as we think we're going to start, we're selling players and we probably need to balance the books, but this potential Champions League's massive as well. That's a massive thing for players to go, well, I'm getting a wee shot of this year. I can go down south, I'm not going to get a bite of that cherry. I can go abroad and get more money. But players want to play in tournaments like that, don't they? Especially if you're an internationalist like Kamara and stuff like that. You want to be in all the big tournaments, the Euros, the World Cup, Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. Obviously, everybody's no driven by money. Some people they might be happy where they are, you know.
Yeah.
Other people can't wait to go to a club and get to Germany, you know, for £3.5 million. Yeah.
Run yourself up.
You know. Just to say, I'm just going to say this once. When we're trying to get hold of people, if you phone in, hang up, we will phone you back. If you keep phoning, we can't bring you in. It must be simple, because Alex from Wishaw can do it. Is that right, Alex?
You're right. It's got to be simple. You're right there, Oxia.
Obviously, we made a new signing for the summer today. I just make sure I get the information up correctly. We signed Jack Simpson for Bournemouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, a boy. Allegedly, we've been chasing for over a year now. Yeah. But
yeah.
So we'll see where it takes us. Don't want to judge. A good age, mid-20s. Played a bit of Bournemouth. Got some games under his belt, and we'll see where it takes us. Obviously, if he's as good as the other people that Gerrard and that have brought in, we'll have no complaints. Linda?
Yeah, I would agree, Ox. I think from what I read, he's a left-sided centre back. I don't know if that's what you read as well. Mm-hmm. As you say, he's a good age, and he's got some Premier League experience, because I think he had a few appearances with Bournemouth last year. So, you know, you've just got to obviously trust the manager, and it's really great that we're getting some signings done just now as well, you know, and who knows, I don't think he will come in over the next couple of days. I don't think there's any chance of that, and I don't know about the boy Wright, whether that's just that's dead now and we'll not see him until the summer. But no, the boy Jack Simpson seems to have a good pedigree, and you know, we've got a lot of good centre backs, so he'll need to be good to get into the team, won't he?
There seems to be another guy coming for the Bournemouth, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Bridge will tell you his name.
Bridge won't. Unfortunately. I don't know the chap's name, but somebody was, I think it was Fox that said that last night. Yeah, man, I'll look up, see what it is. See, is he going to come to us or is he no, that guy?
It looks that way. I think we might announce him in there. There's a message for you in the chat, Linda, for Fox. I don't mean to be rude, it's no kind of message. If you read it, yeah.
P45. Linda, don't open it. Say get stuck in the firewall.
Watch what you're doing, Linda.
Keep away from that, Fox.
Is it better now?
He'll soon let us know. He'll soon let us know.
Okay.
Right, okay. Come and join us. 0141 356 1972 or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online. If you phone in, hang up, we will phone you back. And you can come in and speak to Bridgeman, Dominic, Linda, or Alex for Wishaw.
Can I ask a question on this phoning in and phoning back?
I
take it it's for Skype and for the phone number.
Yes. Well, not so much for Skype, mate, but if you come in on Skype, you come in quicker, but obviously the vast majority of people use the phone, bro.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Aye, yeah.
I think you'll find that for every 100 calls we get, 99 are on the phone, yeah?
Right, okay.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, that chap's name is Namdi Offalborn.
Right.
Sorry. Namdi Offalborn.
Can you spell it?
Yes. Double N-A-M-D-I. Surname is O-F-O-B-O-R-H.
Well, that means you can't spell it. That means you can read.
You can read that. That's the spelling of his name.
Top of the class.
Well done, Bridge. Top of the class. And the monarch says, leave your books, you'll not be long.
Oops. I'm away. Batter me or he'd there. Shush. I'm away.
All right. So, another good signing, Alex. Good age. And listen, if it doesn't work out for him at Ibrox, he needs some game time. I'm sure we can get him some long time at Wishaw Rangers.
Wishaw Rangers.
Yeah, definitely.
Wishaw Rangers.
I mean, you know, he's looking for the fella there last year, wasn't he? For to get him in on loan. Young Simpson there, centre back. So obviously he's had him under the microscope for a couple of years now. And everything they've touched, they've turned out good players and that's come into the club. So here's hopefully he's another one. That's the way to recruit them now before this Champions League. Get the players in there now and get them bedded.
The question is then, who's leaving?
I don't know who's going to be leaving. I don't know if anybody's going to be leaving. We're quite sure.
Well,
I don't know.
It'll be whether we take up the year option on Balogun. At the moment,
Balogun, yeah.
He would maybe do it.
Yeah.
Then you've got Edmondson because you let the side down. Gerrard's very unforgiving. He's like Linda. Once he makes her mind up, that's it.
That's it. You're out.
You know, what's your thoughts, Dominic? And then Linda.
I think possibly Edmondson, but I'd like to think Big Katic, she's got to get another chance. I'll keep Balogun as well. So it's a tricky one, but they'll need to impress once they come in, wouldn't they? They'll not just get in. They'll just not get a place in right away. They'll just knock people out. But I see Edmondson going on loan, maybe I sell them, and it'd be a sore one on Katic if he was to go anywhere. I think.
Right, I think we've been joined for David for coming on. Evening, David.
Evening, guys.
How we doing, mate? All right.
Evening.
I'm just finished work, so that's what I'm phoning you in.
Oh, well done, mate. Congratulations. A round of applause. David's just finished. Everybody, well done, David.
It's just some of the comments I've seen about Morelos the day was just absolutely unbelievable. Some of the stuff that they're saying about him, you'd think you'd robbed a bank or something like that. So I just really don't get what everybody's thing is against Morelos. He can have a wee cheeky moment here and there, but for years a certain player from the other side of Glasgow got away with it, and he's gained wardships and everything for doing it. I just don't get it.
Well, I think the boy, the scrutiny he's under is totally wrong. I'll take that. Linda, you can take that.
Yeah, I think we were saying that earlier. It's the level of scrutiny, David, isn't it? Nobody else seems to get that level in this country. And I do agree with you that there are other players across the Scottish leagues, not just even in the top division, that get away with tackles and challenges, and we don't see them analysed to the nth degree. And we're not saying that it wasn't a red. I mean it could have been, but it's just the way that he was then treated, particularly by Sky Sports. But I just think it's been like that for Alfie since he came to the country, and it's a shame because he is a good player, and I know that he's not been totally innocent in the past, but it is this level of scrutiny, and we just want fairness and consistency, I think.
Exactly. It's just like if you're another player for that area of the world, and you're seeing somebody with the profile that Morelos has got, are you going to come to the Scottish League? You're going to go, no, I don't want to get hounded every day of the week like him.
Yeah.
It just annoys me. It's one of the few things that gets me angry whenever I see it's just like he's held to a different standard. And the amount of charity work that boy does for his same country is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I just find it really, really bad that it's as if he's like a master criminal or something like that, and he's robbed a bank. He's just made a tackle. His foot was already on the way down. What's he supposed to do? Defy physics?
Well said, mate. Well said. Yeah, well said.
Sorry.
No, you're all right, David. You're all right, mate. We've also been joined by Denver. Afternoon to you, Denver.
Afternoon. If we only had the Rangers over here. How's it going, lads?
Go on yourself, Denver. What a chanter.
Denver, I think you might be getting beat with James from Tennessee, mate.
You
must have fallen a lot.
You're a happy bear, Denver.
Oh, delighted, Ox. Delighted. First of all, before we get off onto the subject of the football, I spoke to a friend of mine, Colorado Slim, he's called. He runs a stretch limo company. He's got a 30-foot, 18-seater Hummer. He's going to rent us, and we're going to do a trip across the USA. I'm going to get T-shirts printed like a tour, the Denver Rangers Radio online tour of the US. We're going to end up in Denver, Colorado, at the British Bulldog Boozers. So that's where we're going to do it when we win this 55. So there you go.
Oh, all right, there could be somebody if that's happening. There's somebody on the show this now, and somebody from Drumchapel might appear.
Okay, I'm up for it. I'm up for a challenge. No worries. Anyway, so let me say something a wee bit controversial here. This Rangers team, I've seen my first Rangers game at Ibrox in 1960. And this Rangers team, all the Rangers teams I've ever seen in my life, are my favourite, my top Rangers team. And the reason for that is there is no superstars in it. There's no big buys like Gascoigne or Laudrup or Davy Cooper or all the big superstars. They're a football team, and that's what I love. And I can seriously say they are my favourite all-time Rangers team. There you go.
Wow. Well, at the age of 25, Denver, that's some statement.
Oh, I know.
Right, okay. That is some statement. We are a good football team. We've not won anything yet. We're getting very, very close. Alex, I get what he's saying. We play some more with football.
That's a bold statement. 1960. So I would say the 64 team's a better team. So there you go. That is just opinions. But we're a special team. We're getting there. Once we get the first trophy, we'll just go on and go on. Absolutely fantastic team. There's no big stars in it. They're all together. You see everybody's playing for the manager. And it's fantastic to be a Rangers supporter at the moment.
Bridgman, I know the 60s were an era you remember fondly.
Yeah, indeed. And the lad's right there when they say the 64 team was a great team. 63, 64, 65, great teams. Brilliant. Won a lot of trophies and things like that. But the truth of the matter is, I think Denver's got a really good point. From a pure footballing perspective, you look again at some of the goals that we've scored just in the last month. They've been outstanding. absolutely relentless too. Just brilliant stuff. And that game last night, the pleasure was great. We should have scored more, of course, but that goal, beautiful passes leading up to it, and just great to see what a way we're playing football. What a way we're playing football. Of course, we're speaking about modern day football anyway, as opposed to the 60s. And in the 60s, some of these players, if you could give them the time up here now, they're saying they'd be able to do it. Colin Steen and people like that. Mm-hmm. Just amazing players. Jim Baxter could play anywhere in any era.
It's hard to judge across the generations, but I get what you're saying. I mean, the advocate side, but then there's also.
Oh yeah, and you're talking about the Van Bronckhorst. You're talking about the De Boers.
The money. But what he's saying is this guy's not really spent a penny.
Exactly.
It's just his philosophy into it, his way of playing it. He's put on the team, and they're all buying into it, seemingly. And he seems to be picking players that are just fitting in as well. So it's definitely the Steven Gerrard effect into it. It's got to be, what I mean? There's nothing. There's no other explanation for it. And they're a footballing team, a superb footballing team. Some of the fast playing, the ball between players and that. It's just superb to watch, and it is sulky soccer at times. Know what I mean? There's no denying that. And I think there's definitely for a while there we were playing. We weren't getting any training in between games because it was a Wednesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Sunday. And I think it's made a wee bit of difference. You can see that they've had a couple of training sessions, and that they're getting that spark back again. And I think that's a good thing. And we've got a couple. I don't know how many training sessions we'll get between now and next Wednesday, but it's certainly a good thing.
Well, the man's he's built teams that can excite the crowds for sure. The Braga game, the Braga game at Ibrox, 2-0 down. Oh my God, did we come back with a bang? My God Almighty, the whole place was lifted. Incredible stuff. Even
if you think back to that Leverkusen game, and they're a good side. We know they're a good side. We were 2-1 down, but the reason we get caught and lost 3-1 was we had them in toes for about 20 minutes. Even their manager said the pressure we put them on that night for 20 minutes. All right, they broke away and scored a goal. That's the game. We couldn't quite get the ball in the net, but we gave them a run around for 20 minutes trying to get the equaliser. So I get where Denver's coming for you, Linda.
Yeah, I would agree, Ox. And I think when we played Leverkusen, we weren't really playing that well, domestically. We'd had a poor run of form. And the team that's there just now in the way that we're playing, you would be interested to see how this group of players would go on against a team like Leverkusen. I'm not saying that they would beat them, hands down or anything, but the way that we're playing just now, I think we would give them a better game. And Bridge was talking about some of the goals that we've scored, and it's not just domestically. Think about some of the goals we've scored in Europe, real good team goals, and also some brilliant individual goals as well. And it's just a joy to watch.
I mean, it's different when you look at the generations. What's your Rangers beat RangersRadio? Who knows? You know what I mean? Good point, Denver. We've also been joined by young Jordan. Evening, Jordan.
Hi, Ox. Hey, panel, how we doing? All right?
All right, mate. What's on your mind, mate?
That was a great one last night. Again, I wasn't think the performance was 100%, but again, we've just got that winning mentality about us. We Alpha getting the goal again, but obviously kind of all over the headlines. But obviously reading in the paper today about that Shabak on Hibs TV last night, what an absolute carry-on that was.
Disgrace, mate. Disgrace.
I just seen the comments right there. I just don't think I've never seen a country that's so hostile to one player. It's just unreal. It's all coming out the mainstream media now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, if that's Scott Brown or anybody else, end of the day, it'll just be it was in the men. He get clipped over something like that. But because it's Morelos, it's made the headlines, the papers and everything. It's an absolute disgrace. I'm not meaning to say at the end of the day that what Morelos does sometimes kind of a bit nasty. I understand that. Maybe that's just something that a lot of Colombian people have got in them, but the way that he gets treated by the Scottish media is an absolute fucking disgrace. Sorry about my language, I do apologise, but it really is shocking in the day.
Here, mate. Here. Denver, I don't know if you picked up, you wouldn't have maybe seen some of the things. I mean, the boy stood in his leg. We're not denying that. But you're here, you think it was the worst crime that's ever been committed in Scottish football, and we all know what that is.
Aye, it's a different standard, Ox. It's bordering, as Fox said earlier on, it's bordering on racism. If it's not out and out racism, they can't handle the fact that the wee guy plays for Rangers and is a top player, and they want to drive him out. And I'm just so happy we kept him for this season. I can't wait until that wee man's got that trophy above his head, I'll tell you. Because I can feel the sickness for them 5,000 miles out here in Colorado. I'm telling you, it's palpable, the sickness, I'll tell you.
All right, mate. Well said, Jordan, but what about the actual football and the team, mate? You must be pleased.
I was delighted. I know he never scored last night, but for me, my man of the match was England Kamara. Some of his runs and some of his passing, oh my God, it's just world class. The bargain we've got for him is just unreal. So my man of the match last night would have been Kamara. Didn't think Aribo had a great game, but still the way he head up the ball I thought was really good. But for me, last night, man of the match, Glenn Kamara by a country mile. But Rangers done a professional job last night. I know Hibs had a couple of chances and they played all right at the end of the day, but I thought man to man, I think overall as a team, Rangers done a professional job last night, and I'm delighted with the win again.
Cheers, mate. I think we've been joined by Stevie. Evening, Stevie.
Hi, yeah. How's it going?
How we doing, mate? How are you?
Yeah, very good. I just wanted to, can you join the conversation on Alfredo Morelos, who we all love dearly, and just to try and present, like, taking my boy tinted specs off for a minute and try and present two arguments for Alfredo Morelos. Firstly, is he that player whose reputation precedes him, who every player is out there to give him a kick, and every referee is out there to blow his whistle before he actually fouls anybody? So if you take the tackle last night, there wasn't any great weight. There was no weight in his feet. So I wouldn't call it a stamp. I didn't see any weight in his feet. I think he thought about it, and then he changed his mind, and he practically touched the boy. Right. So you've got that side of the equation. Then you've got the other side of the equation, who, when you look at the guy's record for letting himself and his teammates and his club down, and being rightly sent off on many occasions. If you take the game against Celtic, for example, where he raked Frimpong in the foot quite early in the first half, which was at least a yellow, and he didn't even get a free kick against them. So, irrespective of how fantastic a football player is, so is he a villain, or is he a villain? I don't think the word is villainized, but is it a villain or isn't it?
Hero or villain, is that the question you're sort of asking? Yeah?
Aye. Thanks for putting it better for me.
well, I'll put it to you this way, Stevie, right? When he puts that goal and puts that ball in the net last night in my house, he was a hero. Yeah, I couldn't put it any plainer. I look for my shot.
Well, he's a hero to the Rangers fans. He definitely gets judged different from everybody else. He's box office a wee guy, and he's too big for Scottish football. That's how they're trying to hound him out. So that when Souness came here and all, they tried it with Souness and all. He was too big. SFA the lot. So the wee guy gets picked on. He's got history against that Porteous. I didn't want to get in the line, but what happened last night? He certainly really caught was a bit naughty when he got halfway one, but that wee guy, the stick he gets in every game is unbelievable. He's targeted for the day one. All these managers. It was quite funny when McGuinness here, when Aberdeen, when they asked him what two players he would take, was Morelos and also Kemp. So that tells you how good he is. Opposition managers are absolutely frightened of the guy, and so is all the defenders, and they'll try everything to get the wee guy started. He's got the South American culture in him, and you see what happens. They're temperamental, but he's definitely judged way above everybody else in Scotland, and it's a shame. It's an absolute shame that they're doing well.
All right, we've also been joined by Alex, even Alex number 2. Oh, can you use no one, you no sort to it. Denver, speak to you soon, mate.
The very best, and here's the 55.
Here, Denver boy.
Con yourself, Denver, well done. Well done, pal.
Denver.
Well in Denver.
He's trying to get a duet with Jodie, isn't he? That's what he's trying to do. He's pushing for a duet.
He's a set. They can't help America's Got Talent because that's him and that James from Tennessee murder singing. Yeah. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Ox, and good evening, panel.
How we doing,
Evening,
mate?
Alex.
What's on your mind?
Good evening, Alex.
Good evening, Bridge. Good evening. Listen, I didn't really want to touch on the Morelos subject, so I was going to change tact, if you don't mind. The value of Ryan Jack to your team is underlined. The stats at Port, I think it was, gave you that we've no lost a goal when Ryan Jack's been playing in our team. My question to you, Ox, and the rest of the guys in the panel, and Linda, is: does Ryan Jack have a decision to make whether he continues to play for Scotland or whether he wants to continue his career with Rangers? Because if he plays with Scotland and he comes back injured, as he's doing quite regular now, if he goes to that Euros that is scheduled to get played this year, I would say you rule him out the Champions League qualifiers. Thoughts?
Oh, mate, big question for the boy. First and foremost, I would need to know the details of his injury that he got against Aberdeen. Let's put it out there, right? He got the injury playing for us against Aberdeen. He never got injured while playing for Scotland. Yeah?
Right.
The manager's told us on several occasions he's got bad knees and has to be treated different from anybody else, yeah? So he has to be guided through. He's now getting to the stage where he's turning into, he's not a young boy anymore. So after the Euros, because I think if he's selected, which he will be, because he's one of the best, if not the best Scottish midfielder in the country, he would be in that team. He should be in that team on merit. And after the Euros, arguably he's got a decision to make going forward, because his body will tell him that. Linda?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I didn't realise it was like a sort of fresh injury, Ox. I thought it was just this sort of ongoing knee injury, but that's kind of a different scenario then, isn't it? But
I don't know the details of the injuries the injury he had, but he got it. Whatever he had, he was playing for us when he came off. It wasn't as if he played for Scotland and then didn't play for us again, yeah?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, what you were saying, Alex, about Jack, I don't think we appreciated him until he wasn't there, for that number of games. I think we missed him. And I think a lot of Rangers fans, he's really like a fan's favourite now, and it's really so good to have him back. But I think you're right. Going forward, he wants to play at the Euros and he wants to play for his country. But we certainly missed him. And I think, I don't know how, he's only played in half the games. I think he missed a good sort of more than a dozen games there, and he'll not want to miss club football. But I agree with you. He has got a decision to make, and you would want to play in the Champions League, wouldn't you?
A great question, Alex. A great question. Bridgman and then Domarnock.
Sorry, pal. Sorry.
Domarnock.
I think he's definitely passionate about playing for Scotland, isn't he? I think even his wife's been on Twitter, whatever, promoting him. Know what I mean? And that's fine. That's a good thing. And you want to play in the Euros as well. I said earlier on, any player wants to play in any big tournament, whether it's Champions League, the Euros, World Cup. They just want to get in and say they've played in it, so they can look back in their careers and go, well, I gave it a go. And for us as a club, the Champions League qualifiers is just absolute top priority. And I think we'd all take it for him to not to play for Scotland. But I think the question is, after the Euros, isn't it? That's probably depends on how his body's can face all the numerous games, because he does break down every other season, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
Seems to do it, but it's also the way he plays. If you think back, one of the best tackles I ever seen made live in the flesh was the tackle he made at the cup final last year. The only time they went up the park in the first half. Ryan Jack put his body in the line for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that was a good tackle. Yeah.
What's your views, Alex? I think I don't think the gaffer will stop him playing international football.
Steven Gerrard was a big. He was a big man for playing for his country. I just think that, like similar thoughts to yourself, I just think his body isn't fit enough for him to play both club and international football. So I think if he wants to prolong his career with Rangers, he's going to be playing more games if we get Champions League qualification to group stages. Then I think he really needs to consider dropping Scotland to prolong his career at Rangers. Just his knees and stuff, as you say. I mean, we miss him big time when he's out the team, and it's only now that we're realising that the value that Jack actually brings to the team, because he allows Tavernier to go forward a lot more often. Scotland's the same. When he played, I think it was 8 times there, and Scotland hadn't lost a game. So they're beginning to realise the value that he brings to the national team as well. This is a hard one. I was just interested in your thoughts. That was all.
No, it's a bizarre question. Anyway, we've been joined.
Can I come in on that, Oxy? Oh, sorry.
I only go, Bridget, then we'll bring you in.
I was going to say similar to what Alex was saying. I said this other night about Ryan Jack. I wish that Ryan Jack, I don't wish him any harm in anything he does. I think he's a fabulous player for the club. If he wants to go and play for Scotland, then we have to let him do it. But no problem that it's going to affect his club, because he'll get injured, he'll pick up injuries, wee knocks, you name it, and all these things add up. So yeah, I agree with Alex saying. Maybe there's something, I don't know whether somebody maybe advise him, but please start thinking of your future at the club, pal, because they're not going to get nothing with Scotland. Nothing at all, other than self-satisfaction, of course, which we don't want to take that away from anyone.
All right, we've been joined by Ian. Evening, Ian.
Evening. How's it going, big man?
How's yourself, bro?
No bother. I'm all right, aye.
What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I want to really applaud the Rangers last night for going to Easter Road, getting that result. Because when the couple of seasons gone past, we've had this so-called meltdown that you keep talking about. That did happen, but it's not happened this time, so who's getting the last laugh? I wonder. Anyway, well, we were on about Morelos and the stamp yesterday, last night's game. I mean, McGregor, before he even stamped on the Rangers player, he grabbed him and swirled him around in mid-air. I mean, how the hell the linesman and the referee never seen all that? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? And another thing today with the buff is what I've been reading today on certain papers and media things is absolutely disgusting, because I wondered, did he step on somebody or did he murder somebody? Because they've either gone on about him as if he murdered somebody last night, and it was only a game of football, and it was just a step on. And I think it's ridiculous.
Crack one in that panel.
We'll go to Alec. Alec, you take that, mate. We've not heard your view on the incident. On you go, mate.
Ellis.
No, other Alex. Sorry, Alex number 2. Sorry, mate.
Oh, sorry. No, you're not.
Confusing.
No.
Doesn't take a lot to confuse me, by the way. On you go, Alex.
On the Morelos incident or on the Dan McGregor?
The way he's been treated, the point that Ian's making, yeah?
No, definitely. It's a witch hunt. It has been for the early days of Alfie appearing in Scotland, because he's a threat. Alex spoke great earlier there. He's a threat to the opposition, so everybody wants to target him. Because he doesn't speak the language either. Maybe he's confused in some of his translations about how an instance perceived to him, because it might be perceived differently back in South America. I just think it was. I've seen it a couple of times. Now, last night they really only showed the instant. A few times for the same angle, but I've seen a different angle today, and it does look as if the ball's bouncing round about the knee area, Portes, and that's where Alfie's foot goes down, but it bounces off his knee, and that's when the foot goes onto his leg. So he's a split second too late on the ball. So I was gave it a red initially, but when I see that instant again, that's maybe the referee's thought. But if McGregor is classed as a yellow, then Alfie should have been a yellow. They shouldn't have been screaming a red for Alfie and no for McGregor.
Yeah, I think we'll be joined by Darren. Evening, Darren.
Evening, panel. How are we doing? Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, Linda. Hope you're all well. Been trying for
Darren. Nice to hear you, Darren.
Nice to hear you. I've been trying to go on for all night, so I've not been on to the very start, so it must have been really busy tonight. But however, I don't think Alfie was a red, a yellow maybe, but I've watched it back, and I don't think it was a red. Certainly not a straight red. However, I was listening elsewhere tonight. I'm not going to obviously mention where, and a Rangers fan came on, and he kind of said that he went to bed angry. So I was listening to the show and I went, Rangers won. I went, why were you going to bed angry? And he went, because Morelos was on the park. And I'm picking my head and I'm going, what am I just listening to? You know, scored the winner. Obviously, people are saying it's a red, it's a blatant red, and he went to bed angry, said they're happy because Morelos was on the park. I just didn't see what the panel thought about that. I just didn't make any sense.
I can appreciate that, because I wasn't very angry at all, because I went down for a cup of tea after the show and there was no Orange Clubs left. But look, mate, people are entitled to their opinion. Well, on here, we try and be fair, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. People see football completely different, incidents completely different. They feel past it. I think we've got to watch as Rangers supporters. We can pass comment on one of our own, but he's our striker. He's one of us, and he also deserves our support if he does something wrong. We're not going to deny that he done it, but he still deserves our support, because he's been fantastic for us as a football player, with some moments of madness thrown in along the way, but also some total injustices as well. Yep, I think we've also been joined all the way from Australia. Big Al's joined us. Evening, big man.
Good evening, gents and ladies. How are you all?
Good evening. Good evening.
Evening, Al.
Hi, Linda. How are you, Princess?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
You're good, good. There was a couple of things.
Your voice, Linda.
Certainly different for your voice. Linda's a lady. You leave Linda alone, pal. I'll hop over and have a word with you. What's between me and Linda's between me and Linda. You put me off.
Oh, you big Al, but I'm bigger.
Aye, width-wise.
No, that's Stevie.
Right, okay.
Big Al came in to see me. He stood in the doorway. I couldn't see any daylight.
Because it was night time.
Aye. On you go.
Look, the first thing, it was just when you were talking about the Scotland scenario, not specifically Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack will do what he did, and I wouldn't like to take that away from the guy. He's going to sell into that Scotland team. I hope he goes there and he does a bit of damage for Scotland, because that represents us well as a club. And I'd like to see more Glasgow Rangers players in that team. And then I'll start giving them my full support once I see more players. And so if he leads the way, we got another few in that Scotland team, I'll be more than happy. On the Alfredo Morelos thing, I think I'm here to really to defend him. I probably think he never hit that Porteous hard enough. They've got a bit of needle between each other. So it is what it is. It's two boys. If you were playing football yourself, you've probably done it. The guy you play against throughout the season, you'll have a dig at each other. It is what it is. And I heard somebody talking about, he used the kind of analogy, is it Costa? Remember big Costa that played with Chelsea and Atletico Madrid?
Mm-hmm.
That's the player. You're not going to take that out. That is Morelos. That is his character. He's got that bit in him, whether we like it or not. He's your player. They don't like it because he's not their player. Scottish football don't like it because he's a winner. He's going to be a champion. And that's why everybody doesn't like him. And when you're at the top, people try to knock you off that pedestal. And that's all they're trying to do with that guy, is try to knock him off that pedestal. So he's your player. I think he didn't hit Porteous hard enough because that Porteous is a dirty player as well. He's done things against Morelos. I'd just like it if Morelos was more manly about it and not try to be fly. If he did try to stand him, I'd rather he just went for it full-heartedly and took him right out. If he's got to do it right. But he's your player, and I don't have any problems with him. I don't. He scores the goals.
Who's that? Is that Darren?
Can I get back in?
When you come.
Was it just when you were talking about the people hate Morelos? Was it not the same when Juve came to Ibrox? Did they not hate him as well? Do you know what I mean? So is it not a bit of a pattern here that we're seeing?
I never really thought of that, to be honest with you.
I don't. But is that you alluding to some sort of race card? I didn't really see any racism in this or xenophobia, and I think it's just he's a good player. If he was pink and he was for the moon and he was doing the same things, I think they still wouldn't like him. So I don't think it's anything to do with that. Personally, I don't see a race thing involved in it. I just think he's such a good player.
I don't think it was a racist one either, but I just think that Juve, nobody liked him either, and he was a good player. So and Morelos is getting the same kind of treatment,
Yeah. It's a jealousy thing, maybe.
I would maybe argue whether Juve was a good player for us. He
made an impact.
Aye, but whether he was a good player.
Good player.
I think he was hated before he came.
Aye.
He was a Celtic player or something, and a fan.
A fan.
It was a spitting incident. He was tarred with that brush. Listen, Big Al, Morelos is one of us. He scored a cracking goal for us last night. He started scoring again. He goes on the run. If he gets his form back, he could terrorise people in that Europa League. He could bring his body in. Yeah?
Aye, but somebody said earlier, and it'll bring a tear to my eye as well when I see him in that league championship, because he deserves it. He deserves everything he gets, the boy. And as the wise man for Denver says, I'm glad we kept him this season as well. I was a bit dubious. We've all had it. Jimmy was, I think, on the same boat as me sometimes. You maybe want to get rid of him. But as he grows as a player, as you grow to know him, that's who he is. We can't take that away from him. I think if you try to take it away from him, I think we've seen that. He's maybe not quite the player. I'd rather he does what he does. If he misses a game here and there, or he misses 2 games here and there, it is what it is, I think. But he's your player, man. And he's sticking it up to them. He's sticking 2 fingers up to Scottish football. If they don't like him, well, that's their problem. He's your player. He's a blue nose.
Yeah. Jordan,
can I get back in just on my last point?
John, you go quickly, Darren.
Obviously, with that guy said it's going to bring a tear, a tear to his eye when he sees him lifting the championship.
Remember that he cried last night at the tune, so he does cry quite easily.
But I think it's going to.
I thought it was Linda.
As everybody will say, 55 is going to bring a tear to most people's eyes. People obviously no with us any longer and can't see and can't celebrate with us, but it's going to be a sad one. This one, because it's been a long time coming, and people are obviously unfortunately no.
It'll be emotional. They might even get Bridge to buy a drink.
Can I ask Linda a quick question? Linda.
Yes.
Do you sing any sea shanties?
I'm saying nothing.
That boy in TikTok, quality. Right, I need to go, boys. I've got some work to do. Right. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure. Just keep the show. He's doing a wonderful job for Scottish football.
Cheers. Speak to you soon, big man.
Bye, Al.
He's only come on here because you're on Linda.
No, don't know about that.
Well, guys, he's sent everybody home early.
Aye, sent all the workers home early. Jordan, you still with us?
I am.
Right, okay. The run of games we've had in January, when we were meant to drop all these points, it's worked out a wee bit different, eh?
Isn't it half fine? It kind of dropped points against a team I didn't expect to, which was Motherwell, which always seemed to hammer, but there you go, that's just it. But I'm not complaining at the end of the day, but as soon as that league's won, and especially when Alfie lifts that trophy, I'm going to text every single Jungle Jim I know, every single hater, and just put posters everywhere of him just lifting that title, just to see the utter meltdown. And I'll tell you something, I cannot wait for that to happen. I just cannot wait for it. I'm just, sometimes you knowing what's just angering me with just a wee rants and a wee sort of things that they can throw in that is, but it's just going to be so sweet when we just say, get it right up here, give it a title end of the day, and then fucking meltdown is just going to be fantastic.
All right, Alex Kelly.
Yep, I'm getting off about that. No, I agree with that. I was looking in Facebook earlier today, and I believe the Red Arrows are going to make Glasgow red, white, and blue as well. So there's a GoFundMe going for that.
I think the money's been raised, mate. It's been done.
Oh, fantastic. Can you imagine the faces on them when they're looking at the sky? And it's red, white and blue. Absolutely brilliant. Whoever thought of that?
We're going to try and get a GoFundMe page up here. We think if Bridge was to parachute the lead one, that would be good at all.
What a shocker you are, boy. What a shocker.
Go Bridge.
That wouldn't be a Bridge too far.
We just can't wait, can't we? We're ticking the games off. We're playing great. We're meant to be dropping all these points that Celtic says if we're coming to Ibrox to teach us a lesson. We were meant to drop points at Aberdeen. We did at Motherwell, at Hibs. We just keep going. The Rangers juggernaut just keeps strolling on.
£25,000 raised for it in 4 hours for the Red Arrows.
Amazing.
Wow. Fantastic.
Anyway, well, Bridgeman, you'll not believe us, Linda. That's that 2 years gone.
No.
Don't know about the show, but for a normal show with no football, we might be up there with record callers tonight. Linda, then Bridgeman.
Oh, it was a great show, Ox. Really enjoyed the chat, and all the callers were fantastic. So thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Well, what can I say? What can I say other than that? Seriously, well done to everybody. A great show, another marvellous show. Congratulations to you and the Techie boys for keeping us all going. I can just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fan on here, Rangers Radio, what a fabulous evening last night. Great result, great show tonight. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us, and they really do. Keep it going.
By the way, can I thank all the callers, and if they're listening, I'm not going to name them, too many to mention tonight. Fantastic, enjoyed every one of them. Everybody's got slightly different opinion. Great to hear from Australia to Denver. The Bears just keep coming along. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. We will be joined by the one and only Southside. Take it away, old school boy.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. To start a football team, they had no money, no kid, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For that's not our dream, to start a football team. They had no money, no kid, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. For that's had our dream, to start a football team. They had no money, no kid, not even a ball. They still carried on.